Hi, I'm Daniela and this is Jocelyn. Thanks for coming back to our channel.
Today we're going to talk more about how lesbians have babies.
We'll be doing this by answering some of our most frequently asked questions.
We've pretty much heard everything from how are you married to a woman if you have a kid, or you don't look gay, you don't look like a lesbian, or who's the guy? That one's always one that we get a lot.
Yeah, obviously Jocelyn's the guy. Duh, just kidding.
We are both women, so that's kind of the whole point.
To give you some backstory,
Jocelyn had a boyfriend in high school, and they had a baby. And as they grew older and the baby Isabella grew up, Jocelyn and her boyfriend just grew apart. And in college, she started dating again, and eventually she found me.
So that was the very quick play-by-play of our family unit so far.
a question that I get a lot is, did I officially adopt Isabella? And the answer to that question is no, I did not. She does have her mom and dad actively in her life, and we do have a co-parenting relationship, all of us, and it does work well for us. And what we decided to do was, after getting married and Jocelyn changed her last name to mine, Isabella has decided that she wants to hyphenate my last name on the end of hers, which we're really excited about.
Next question, would we ever consider adoption? I would say that I definitely would consider adoption, although I've always said, I want a baby with your face. I want a baby with this face right here. It is true, there's no way to hide that there are a lot of kids out there who need love, and if we were ever unable to conceive, or maybe after this one, we'll go from there.
I have always wanted to be a mom, and I always said that I'm gonna have children, but I also wanted to adopt. At this point in our life, I don't know how many kids we want to have. It's looking like only 2, but if we ever decided to have more kids, adoption I think would definitely be on the table. The only thing for me is that I never had the experience of having like an infant, and that's something I really want. I really hope that we'll be able to conceive another baby and then be able to consider adoption.
Another question that we get is, why did we choose Daniela to carry? I think this one's pretty straightforward. Obviously, I had a chance to be pregnant, and my pregnancy, although I was really young, went really smoothly. I didn't have much morning sickness, and I actually enjoyed being pregnant. I'm more of a one and done kind of girl, and I've been through that experience, and I'm definitely eager and ready to have Daniela go through that experience. I've had the experience of being the one pregnant, so now I'm really excited to be the one to do the nurturing and the caring for my pregnant wife. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I've always wanted to have a baby my whole life. And when I was a kid, I would be like putting my baby dolls under my shirt, like, I'm pregnant. I really have always wanted to just actually be pregnant and have a pregnant belly. I just think that's so cute. And I just want to have a baby, like an infant that comes out of me and go through that process. So it was kind of like a no-brainer for us. Like, Joss is like, I'm good. I don't need to ever push a kid out again. And I'm like, okay, good, because I really want to. Some people have asked, would Jocelyn carry if I don't have the ability to? And we have talked about that, and I think that's a good option, but I also, number one, I know this is petty, but I would be really jealous if I couldn't have a baby, and then like, it would be nice to take care of her and her pregnant belly, but I feel like it would just really hurt the fact that I couldn't do it, even though, because this is something I wanted forever. But you know, we would get over that, I'm sure. But the other reason is, Jocelyn's scary when she's PMSing. I definitely don't want to meet her pregnant.
I'm just kidding. I'm sure she would be fine. We would be able to work through it, but
There are a lot of kids out there who need love, and we've talked about it, and I think if Daniela is unable to conceive, then we would just visit the option of adoption a little bit sooner than we expected.
Yeah, for sure. Why are we doing ICI?
ICI, intracervical insemination.
The reason we decided to do ICI, which you can check back in our other video, I'll leave the link above, but the reason that we decided to do ICI was because we felt that going into a doctor's office and getting artificially inseminated through IUI,
IUI, intrauterine insemination.
Felt a little bit impersonal, and I really wanted Jocelyn to be a part of this journey. Of course, we haven't taken IUI off the table completely. If ICI doesn't work for us over the course of our first year of trying, we'll definitely put IUI back on the table. But because of the pandemic and restrictions, Jocelyn wouldn't be able to come in the room with me at this point in time while I was inseminated. And I felt like I just really don't want to come home and be like, hey honey, I'm pregnant. I'd rather her be with me, us do it together in a more intimate way where we can just actually make a baby together. Would we do IVF? I think that's a really big question, and I think we'll definitely cross that bridge if we ever come to it. Personally, I feel like for me, I know that I have some health issues and constraints, and I feel like if I just couldn't get pregnant on my own, then maybe I just wasn't meant to. But I can't say how I will feel when that time actually comes. And I know that a lot of people get pregnant through IVF, and
I do think that's something like that's good and necessary. I don't want to sound like I'm saying something negative about IVF.
I think IVF would definitely be part of a larger conversation if ICI and IUI prove to be unsuccessful for us. That's definitely something that I would like to have more conversations about with Jocelyn in the future.
The important thing to remember about IVF is that it's a lot more time consuming and there's a lot more that goes into it.
You're being more closely monitored by a doctor. There are hormone injections involved. Sometimes the woman has to inject herself at specific time frames to ensure that pregnancy can be more successful. There are a lot more doctor's visits and monitoring that takes place. So it's definitely something that we would really have to seriously consider. Not to mention a lot more expenses come with IVF as well.
Do we have a birth plan?
Mm-hmm. This isn't something that we have gone too much into detail with, but we probably won't do an at-home birth, only because I would be terrified that something would go medically wrong and I wouldn't have a doctor around. I do want to go to like a birthing center or somewhere that specializes in the birth of babies. I don't know. We'd have to look into that. What do you think? What was your birth plan?
I don't know. My birth plan when I was 17, the first time I did it was just wing it. I read all the books that I could, and I knew that I didn't want to commit to anything to be like, this is what I want to do. And then I knew the time where I'm in it, who knows what I'm going to think or feel. So I wanted to just be open-minded.
I remember specifically thinking, I'm not going to be nursing. Like, I don't want to nurse. That we have formula, it's fine. I'm like, I'm weirded out by the whole breastfeeding thing. And then as soon as my baby was born and I held Isabella for the first time, I just felt so connected with her. And I'm like, how can I not give her the most nutritious thing available to her? And nursing became such a bonding experience, and it was so much more beautiful than I thought it would be.
I think it probably felt awkward for you because you were a kid and you were only 17 and you're like, why am I gonna breastfeed? That's weird. But then you realize that it's like natural and beautiful.
Yeah.
And you decided to do it, which...
Yeah, but when I was a baby, I would like walk around like I was breastfeeding. No, I've definitely done that too. And I'd be like, oh, my baby's hungry. I definitely know that's something I've always wanted to do.
As far as a birth plan goes, I think we're still working on that one.
Yeah, I will say that I'm not going to be a person who's going to straight up say like, no, I'm not going to get drugs, or yes, I'm going to definitely get drugs. I'm going to see what happens and weigh the pros and cons. I know a lot about epidurals because of my veterinary medical background. I feel like if there's pain or if I need a C-section, I'm going to need anesthetics or some type of medication to help me get through that. So I will be open to whatever is necessary to have my baby safely.
How do you think giving birth is going to go?
I'm terrified of giving birth. I really want to be pregnant and I want to have a baby inside me, but the thought of giving birth at this point terrifies me. Recently, my mom told me her whole birth adventure with me, and that just terrified me even more because it didn't sound so pleasant.
My dog is really bored about this. But...
I definitely know it will be painful. I'm really scared. I really commend people who give birth at home or do water births.
For sure.
I really think that that's something I would love to try, but I'm terrified. I know that there are midwives and doulas, but I don't know. I've worked in an ER for most of my life and seeing things that can go wrong, even just with animals. It's really quite frightening. How was giving birth for you?
Yes, giving birth for me was pretty terrifying. I think that was the initial feeling, like, okay, my water broke, now this means it's really happening, there's no going back. It's kind of like
Nowhere else to go.
nowhere else to go but forward, and that's kind of scary because you're in it. You don't know what's going to happen, but you're in along for the ride. So, of course, it's frightening. But I think who you surround yourself with and, like, your family members and those who have supported you throughout the pregnancy really help keep you focused on the big picture, the excitement at the end. And to be honest, I was super afraid of giving birth, and I was always told by people who gave birth before, don't worry, the pain and everything, you're going to forget. It's going to be a blip because you're going to have this new little bundle of joy you have to take care of. And I'm like, I don't believe you. This is supposed to be the most painful thing ever in anyone's life, so there's no way you can forget that. And you don't forget it, but it becomes so minuscule compared to all the fun and stress and everything that comes with being a parent. That's just the start of it. Yeah, I'm so scared.
So if I'm like, I don't want to do it,
I'll be there to tell you that there's no way to go but forward.
Just to have a watermelon come out of my vagina.
I'm really nervous for that part, but I'm excited for every other part, so please give me my baby. If there are any more questions you would like us to answer, be sure to leave it in the comments below.
We'd be happy to share it all with you. Leave a like and subscribe.
Please like and subscribe.
See you soon.